Hi, I'm Dirk from L2 Outside. I'm really happy that you could come on a paddling adventure today. Before we get going, there's a couple safety items that we need to cover to ensure that you have a fun and most of all safe experience today. When you're on the water today, there's 3 rules that you need to be aware of. Number 1, there's no lifeguard on duty. So that means you have to feel comfortable and confident in your ability to go out on a board on your own and to be able to explore and then return back at the same location. Rule number 2, when you're paddle boarding or kayaking today, is that there's no drugs or alcohol allowed when you're renting with us. And then number 3, if you have any health concerns, that may be if you just had knee surgery, if you're pregnant, or if you have any heart issues, we recommend consulting your doctor before you go any further today. So now it's time to learn how to paddleboard. When getting started, it's always best to crawl on your board. This is a great way to get acclimated to the board and work on your balance before you stand up. So when you crawl on your board, when we get down in the water, you want to be directly in the center of the board, which is above this grab handle. So when you're standing up, you also want to make sure, again, you're directly above this handle. This is the center of the board, and this is how you're going to have the most stability. So once you've crawled on your board and you feel nice and comfortable, you have a good base, now it's time to practice your strokes. So you take your blade and you want to put it deep into the water. You want to get the blade about that deep in the water. Nice, big, quality strokes where you're digging all the way into the water and you're pulling back to where your knee is. You usually do 2 to 3 strokes on each side. Take the paddle out, switch the placement of your hands, and then do 2 to 3 strokes on the other side. If you do too many strokes on one side, you'll start to turn. I need to make sure that I stress, dig this blade all the way into the water and then pull. That's how you're going to generate the most power. If you're just splashing on top of the water and you're not going deep, you're not going to get as much power. So next I'm going to go over turning and stopping and then standing up on your board. All right, so now that you're on your board and you're getting comfortable, now it's time to turn. Again, you can do multiple strokes on one side and you'll start to turn. If you need to turn quickly, you can dig your blade in reverse in the water and your board will instantly start to turn. So I always recommend when you're on your knees and you're getting the hang of it, go ahead and practice going in a straight line and then go ahead and practice turning before you try to stand up. If you need to stop, you can dig your blade in reverse just like one of the turning methods we showed earlier, and then take the blade out and dig on the other side and your board will come to a complete stop. Now that you're comfortable on your knees and you have your paddle strokes down, it's time to do the fun part, standing up. When you stand up, I recommend putting your paddle on the board so that you can have your hands free. Then put your hands directly on top of the paddle blade and slowly slide one of your feet up underneath you. Keep it under your center of gravity and it needs to be right next to this grab handle. That's the center of the board, remember. So again, just slide your foot up and then slowly pull your other one up, grab your paddle and slowly stand up. Make sure you keep your knees bent and you have good balance as you're standing up. Now that you're standing up and you have proper stance, it's time to start paddling. So when you're standing, grab the top of the paddle and do nice big quality strokes from the front of the board all the way back to your feet. You want to do 4 to 5 strokes per side and then again switch the placement of your hands and do 4 to 5 strokes on the other side. Now that you have proper paddling technique down, it's time to go over what to do if you fall off your paddle board. If you fall off, no worries, you're connected to the board with your leash and you have a life jacket on. So once you're in the water, quickly find your board, swim to the middle, and grab the grab handle. When you're grabbing the handle and pulling yourself on top of the board, do it nice and slowly, shimmying a little bit at a time, and then swing a foot up on the board and slowly pull yourself on top of the board. If you're on a kayak today, paddling is pretty simple. One of the main ways that it's different from paddle boarding is that you continuously alternate sides that you're paddling on. So you don't want to do 4 to 5 strokes on one side and then switch. You're going to be alternating each time. Again, all of the same paddling techniques apply of good, deep, powerful strokes. If you need to turn, dig your blade in reverse just like with paddling and you'll instantly turn. I think you're going to get the hang of it really quick. If you fall off your kayak, the best way to get back on is to swim around the back, put your hands near the end of the kayak, and alternate right hand down, left hand up in a rotating motion and flip the kayak over. Once the kayak is right side up, You're going to swim to the middle of it, grab a hold, and slowly pull yourself up on top of it. Now that you know how to paddleboard, let's go over the basics of equipment. Every single paddleboard has a fin on the bottom of the board. Your fin will already be on your board when you're renting, but please keep in mind, these are fragile and they can break. So please be careful to avoid rocks or any other hard surfaces. When you're walking down to the water, the best way to carry your board is to come underneath the board, grab the grab handle, and then stand directly up. We want you to have a fun and safe experience on your paddling adventure today. When it comes to paddling out on the river, it's L2's policy that you have to wear a life jacket. We'll help you get set up with the correct size on your way out the door. Every single paddleboard has a leash. The purpose of the leash is to connect you to the paddleboard, so in the event that you fall off, you're still connected to your board and it won't float away. Every single leash has a Velcro strap that goes around your ankle, and the other end will be secured to the paddleboard. Now we're going to go over river safety instructions. When you're going out on your adventure today, the first thing you need to do is pick your route. We recommend going upstream towards McClellan Island and the bluffs underneath the Hunter Art Museum. Do not go downstream of the Coolidge Park ramp. The next thing that you need to be aware of on your adventure today is that at times the Tennessee River has strong current, at times the current is very, very low. L2 will advise you if it's a good day to paddle or not. If the current is strong, we recommend hugging the shore, hugging 25 feet off the shore instead of going in the middle of the channel. In the channel, the current's a bit stronger and more swift, and if you hug the shore, you're gonna have a better experience. When you're paddleboarding today, be aware of your surroundings. There's lots of recreational boaters, there's the Delta Queen, there's barges, there's a lot of activity on the river, so don't get tunnel vision. Constantly be looking around and be aware of your surroundings. The proper distance to maintain from other water vessels is 150 feet. When a boat does pass you, sometimes it will create waves. When a wave is approaching you, whether you're in a kayak or a paddleboard, turn the nose of the board or the kayak directly into the waves and take it head on, and you'll be a lot more stable. You don't want a wave to hit you from the side. That will create instability. When you're out on the water, sometimes the weather can be hard to predict. If a storm quickly crops up out of nowhere, or there's lightning or strong wind, be sure to immediately head back to the launch point. In Ross's Landing and other areas of the Tennessee River, there's signage that's posted from TWRA in the city. Be sure to obey all posted signage. In the event of an emergency, there's two ways to communicate that you're in distress. The first way is to turn your paddle upside down and wave it in the air to other boaters and other paddle boarders. The second way that you can notify others that you're in distress is with your whistle. Every single life jacket is equipped with a whistle. Be sure to utilize this if you need to get the attention of anybody else on the river. All right, that's everything that you need to know to get out on the river today and have a fun and safe adventure.